pass away, we are the station that brings God's unchanging truth to everything we do. Spirit Radio. Spirit Radio, 87 to 95 FM. Live from the Network News Centre. This is News on the Hour.
At 12, good afternoon, I'm Tina Gates. A major investigation is underway after a bomb threat at the home of the Justice Minister forced the evacuation of her family. Helen McEntee was not at home when the threats were made in 2 late-night phone calls during the week, but Gardaí felt it necessary to move her husband and young family to safety as a precaution. Irish Daily Mail executive editor John Lee says it marks a major escalation in threats of violence towards politicians.
Miss McEntee has had maternity leave during her period as Minister for Justice, so these children the calculation is fairly simple to make on their ages. But no, it illustrates an extraordinary escalation in the conduct of certain members of the public towards politicians, and whatever one thinks of this, laws are now being broken.
Aontú's Peadar Tobin says the security scare at Minister Helen McEntee's home is shocking. He's been speaking as delegates assemble for the party's Ardèche in Maynooth in County Kildare, with crime among some of the key issues topping the agenda. The party leader says Garda policing's also under the spotlight today.
This is also having a big effect in terms of the number of road deaths that are happening. Aontú parliamentary questions have shown that there's been nearly a 40% decrease in the number of Gardaí policing our roads in the last 9 years. This is having a horrendous effect on driver behaviour, which is getting worse, which is leading to increased deaths.
2 people have been seriously injured after a road crash in County Kerry yesterday. They were airlifted to hospital in Cork yesterday afternoon, as Alex Rowley reports.
The collision between a van and an SUV happened on the N70 at Tullochbeg outside Clorgan at around 3:15 p.m. Both drivers, a woman in her 50s and a man in his 30s, were airlifted to Cork University Hospital with serious injuries. Investigators have since carried out a technical exam and the road has fully reopened. Gardaí are asking any witnesses to this crash to come forward. Anyone with video footage, including dashcam, is asked to make this available to investigating Gardaí.
There's concern over the level of alcohol and drug consumption in Ireland. It comes as 69 people have died on the road so far this year, an increase of 18 lives lost compared with the same period last year. According to the RSA, around 2 in 5 drivers killed tend to have alcohol in their system. Sheena Gilheany from Alcohol Action Ireland says evidence has linked alcohol abuse with deaths.
It was a very large study actually done across all the EU countries back in 2017, looked at data going back to 1999, and what they found was that the level of alcohol consumption in a country was directly related to the level of fatalities on the road that was there, and that was especially true for young men. And it doesn't surprise me, because when you look at the drinking profile for young men, it's very problematic.
More secure, affordable homes need to be rolled out to reduce homelessness. The Simon Communities is reacting today to a record 13,866 people who were homeless in March. That includes 4,147 children, a 19% rise in the year. Simon Communities Executive Director Wayne Stanley says children in emergency accommodation need help.
If you look at families and the over 4,000 children in homelessness and the trauma that's involved in that, and are we setting those young people up to be the next generation of people in homelessness if we don't start providing solutions?
3 people have been charged in connection with a drug seizure in Limerick. The discovery of around €300,000 in suspected cannabis was made yesterday in the city. A 4th person, a man in his 60s, is still being questioned by Gardaí in relation to the find. The 3 charged will appear at Limerick District Court at 1:30 this afternoon. And that's your latest news update at 12:04. Sport now, and in soccer, Liverpool will look to put their midweek defeat in the Merseyside derby behind them in the Premier League's lunchtime game. Mo Salah drops to the bench for the Reds, who travel to West Ham for a 12:30 kick-off. Manager Jurgen Klopp says he's not prepared to wave the white flag in the title race just yet.
Pretty sure Arsenal and City see it now as a 2-horse race. They might have to say something else publicly, but they don't expect for themselves to lose 2 games from now on. I don't expect them to do that. If they do it, we would be completely silly if we would then not be around.
At 3 o'clock, Manchester United host Burnley, who could go within touching distance of safety with a win. Luton Town can move out of the drop zone with victory at Wolves. Informed Crystal Palace make the short trip to Fulham. Bottom side Sheffield United could be relegated as early as today. They're away to Newcastle.